Hey guys, just jumped into the 3+0 hourly Crazy House Arena. I am again going to record one game here against Jeffersondionizio, I suppose. Got the 2 nice defense. I'm expecting e5. Nope, d6. Let's bring the bishop out on this diagonal. Target f7. Blocks that off. Just going to castle. Probably build a big center with d4. He's building a very restrained center, but a very solid setup. And now I'm going to break with e5. Okay. Get a pawn in hand. I'm expecting he's going to take that. That's interesting. I think I'll just take here. And I could even take with a knight and solidify. That would be okay. Something like queen takes, rook takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, place a pawn on, bring his king out. I'm sacking the whole piece in that scenario because I don't have a knight drop here or here afterward. So let's think. How do I want to proceed here? Take, take. Well, let's start with this. And now, could do something like takes, takes and pawn on, but it doesn't look like much. What about pawn here takes knight on? King has to step up. I don't think that's much either. Although queen trade could benefit me there. Let's see how this works out. The point is, a queen trade, it's just hanging in the air right now. There's a lot of tension down this file, but he doesn't have any immediate threats on my king, so I can safely leave that tension for the time being. Now, yeah, that's a very weak move, I think. I have to decide whether I just want to collect the material or create this weakness and drop a pawn, draw his king out. If I take, I suppose I'll take with a bishop. And then maybe I do trade queens. Let's just collect the material, play it solid. And I'm going to trade queens. If it takes with the rook, I'm definitely going to sack on f7. Takes with the bishop. Okay. I was thinking maybe a knight on. And now, let's apply some pressure to e6. Expecting him to defend it, maybe with a pawn on. That works as well. Now I do have to be a little bit careful, make sure he doesn't get another knight in hand, because then he would be threatening mate. But this knight does a good job of guarding that h3 square. Huh. Oh. Okay, I gotta pick it up here. If I took here, he would have had a mate threat. So I think that was a good move. My knight is now tied to the defensive h3. I gotta pick up the pace. Got 28 seconds to his 2 minutes. It's a little bit impractical. Ooh, okay, I will take that. If he takes with the bishop, I'm going to place a knight on e5. And crucially, it guards the square too. So now, yeah, this is going to mate. Knight on. If king over, queen there mates. If king over, then a queen here mates. So a little bit of a sharp finish there. Nice little smother mate there. So let's take a look at that game. I'm going to withdraw. Actually, I'll just go to the analysis board. I think I can withdraw from this screen too. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look. I play this stuff as blacks from time to time as well. If I want to be aggressive, I suppose maybe an early d4 without bringing out the bishop first, but This is all fine. Builds a small center. He controls all these squares well. I get to build up a lot of space, but he's very compact and has a lot of latent energy, so nothing wrong about the setup for black. I do like breaking with e5 here. Takes, takes. I wasn't expecting that, so it just gave me a piece for a pawn, which was completely fine by me. And he was rightly concerned about this weakness over here, because my bishop has access down this diagonal and his does not. So a queen trade would benefit me, because I can probably open this king side. For example, he decides to trade queens here, so yeah, just take with a knight, lending some extra support. Then whatever he does, really, I'm going to place a pawn on h6 next, I suppose. So suppose he tries to make some progress on my king side. Well, I'm going to place a pawn. My attack will come first. Takes, takes, and because I have a queen in hand, there's just going to be too much pressure coming down on this king side. I can place a pawn, place a knight on, and I think white stands much better here. So a queen trade there would benefit white. And that's the downside of pushing an early e6 for black, is you do make this piece quite inactive in a lot of lines, like a French kind of, the French bishop. So yeah, you might notice that there are some lines being drawn now, because I guess Sunsetter is an engine that they recently incorporated into the Lichess analysis board. So it's interesting. I haven't really played with it too much, tooled around or finagled with it, but it could be helpful. I think it's a strong engine. I heard reports that it got up to around between 2,500 and 2,700 on FICS, which is comparable to the very highest levels on Lichess and anywhere else. So it's a strong engine, to be sure. Okay, so it doesn't dislike this move, this bishop takes h6. I'm going to turn that off, just do my own analysis. Takes, takes. And now what about just queen takes straight away? So say he takes with a rook. And I was thinking about a pawn on, but after, say, king takes, I don't have a knight check. Although, maybe, actually, I could have done this, couldn't I have? Because after takes here, then I can get rid of this pawn. It's still not clear. I don't have an immediate follow-up. Maybe take with a knight, putting pressure on this rook, and also sack on h6 is available. So maybe that's viable, although it's not clear that I do have a strong continuation from this point. Yeah. Actually, yeah, probably that would have worked out just fine, because I have a knight takes here, as a matter of fact. And the point is, you can't really take that back, because now this knight on is going to be very strong. King here, queen here will mate. Let's just try a line. Yeah, he's going to be mated. So that would have been strong, I think. That was the move I was missing, just a simple knight takes f7. The point being, after he takes back, I do have another knight in hand just to replace on e5 with check, with tempo, and now this square has been vacated and I can drop a piece there. So that's what I was missing. Well, okay, so this g5 move, it was a speculative continuation. My point was, after h takes g, I was thinking putting a knight on. I could even just put a pawn on. I was debating between those two options, putting a pawn on at h6. And now a queen trade would be devastating, because I'm threatening mate. So sacking a pawn just to get some control, exert some control over this g7 square, or just immediate knight on. King over, I've got a nasty fork, so king's got to come up. And then I was thinking queen takes, insert this queen trade. For rook takes, I can just take there with impunity, so bishop takes. And now I was still probably considering this knight takes. Suppose takes, takes, takes. And maybe pawn on. No, then I mated though, because he has knight drops. Just for anybody who's not familiar with that mating pattern, something like this. And if I ignore that, he's got a smothered mate. So I have to take here. And now after knight on, if I move my king to the side, he's able to draw me out. And I'm going to be mated. So that's a good common motif for you guys to memorize if you're unfamiliar with that pattern. You have two knights in hand, a queen in hand, and a pawn in hand, and the king side is open like this. knight drops on h3 and f3 will mate. So, okay, so that's something I had to be cognizant of, so that wouldn't work. So I think the proper continuation in that scenario, if he did end up taking h takes g, maybe just put this pawn on. Sacrifice that pawn to exert some control over this square. And now if he trades queens, again, it's going to benefit me because he doesn't have knights to drop. And I have this glaring weakness I think that's going to benefit me. So, okay, so that's how I probably would have continued with that pawn drop at h6. He did not accept that pawn sack. Instead, he replaced a pawn at g7, which I think it's got to be losing. I think it's giving me too much. So, yeah, I was thinking about takes, and now placing this pawn on, which would have been strong as well. Same idea as really drawing the king out and then trading queens. But I instead decided just to gather up the material, which I think is equally viable. Now I traded queens. Yeah, vacating the defense of this f7 square was not wise, I think. I think better was to take with the bishop, and that way when I sack here, he can take with the rook. Although my attack would still come quicker than his, because I still have a knight drop. Threatening that rook, if that rook drops back, then I have a pawn drop on, and another pawn drop here, stuff like that. It's going to be nasty. Hard to defend, but I still think that bishop takes is more accurate. So takes, king on, or king up rather. And now my game was just to exert as much pressure as possible on the e6 square. Try to break through in that way. So here, yeah, okay, in retrospect, taking here was probably inadvisable. I think placing a pawn on here is definitely better, right? Because, yeah, he can't just defend with this bishop now. It's going to draw his king out, and it's going to be lights out from there. My queen's going to be getting in. If he drops back, then it's going to be over. Yeah, so a pawn here was a more precise continuation. Because after here, his king is actually quite safe, amazingly enough. So that was actually probably a fair mistake, capturing on e6 instead of placing a pawn on g6. But this knight on does a good job of attacking here while also defending this h3 square. Remember, if he gets two knights in hand, rather than I'm going to be under some pressure, guard against mate. So my idea was, after a knight on, if he takes here, I was going to take here, drawing his king out. And again, I can just get a knight on, and mate will soon follow, or at least a crushing attack. But after it takes here, he's scooping up a second knight. So now if I vacate defense of this h3 square, if I move this knight away, again, he's got that mating pattern, because I don't have defense over the f2 square to color some other mate. So now after it takes here, my knight is tied to this square, so I have to recapture here. And now this is a mistake, because it allows, well, after takes, it allows a knight to come on. And now his bishop is no longer defending this square, which is integral. Yeah, and after king drops back, then I've got this nice smothered mate. Okay, so interesting game. I think probably the pivotal point came around this. I'm not sure about that knight sack, but around this point is when I think white started to crack through with this bishop sack and just giving the material back to create some dark square weaknesses. This impending queen tension always helped white, and from there it was just figuring out the way to break through and draw his king out. So, alright, I may record another one today, another 3+0 event, maybe even a bold arena, and I may not, we'll see. But yeah, thanks guys for watching this one.